I think I fixed the gain problem on my microphone. I tried to repeatedly fix it, and it was showing that it was recording, but nothing was recording at all. This time I actually took a short recording. I didn't have to do this before. I know that there's the Interstellar drone in the background, which I like putting because it gives an ambient space theme to my videos without copyright strikes, right? Not that I'm monetizing my videos, I rarely ever do that, but I don't really care about reach or if I do get copyright struck, but I don't want to get copyright struck for stupid reasons, right? The last 2 videos I recorded, the audio is completely broken. So, right now, I'm recording a 3rd video. And I don't know what I'm going to be talking about in this video, but at least this time I know my audio is working. It's stupid, but I had to actually bump the gain all the way up to get the audio, but at least, OBS lets you do that, right? So, I've been thinking of, I've been saying this for more than 10 years. I'll be starting a podcast series. 10 years later, I'll be starting a podcast series. No, I'm not going to be podcasting. Not like that. At least, I might. But I like this idea that my channel is the backrooms. You have to remember that, that I was doing the backrooms thing before the backrooms was backrooms. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So the original found footage was the Blair Witch Project. And I never got around to seeing it. I do have to see that eventually. But you have to remember that the Blair Witch Project was recorded in Dave's school, which is attached to Universal Studios. Now, I was never part of Dr. Phillips's, Dr. Phillips High School's, I will call it DP, because that's DPHS. Please be normal about that. It's disgusting if you treat that as weird. You're telling on yourself. It's filthy. It's disgusting. Don't be weird about me saying DP. So when I was a DP, right, I was not part of the VPA magnet program. I was part of what was called Business Academy. And what Business Academy is that it was a program that sort of simulated a professional environment for you to learn professional skills. And you would be in that program for 4 years. And I loved that program. One of the teachers was a bitch, Miss Rodriguez. I got her fired because she was literally harassing me at the end of the year. In 9th grade, she was harassing me at the end of the year and sent me to the principal's office at the end of school. Like literally the last day of school, because I was laying on the floor and everyone else was doing it too, but she picked on me. I noticed that she was being super racist towards Indians. I told the principal about it. They didn't even send me into the office. They were so mad at her that the next year, I noticed that she was put with the ESOL students, the ESC students, the special needs students. She got fired from the what you call it, the graphic design program, and she got put into special needs training because she was absolutely a jackass, but which was complete retribution for what happened with her at the end of 9th grade. But there was a whole bunch of anomalies that happened in the end of 9th grade that ended up still affected by it. That would have been 2012. But the other teacher, Miss Barber, oh, she was lovely. Oh, I miss Barber. Miss Barber. She had a fun name, Barbara Barber. But I'm sure Miss Barber still thinks of me. But no, the graphic design program, was a professional design program, and I learned Photoshop really fast, Illustrator, Flash, InDesign, Dreamweaver, all the Adobe stack. I basically learned the entire Adobe stack, and I still use the skills today. But that was a whole thing. There's the whole professional job shadowing thing. I job shadowed with Lockheed Martin with them, because my brother's now wife, her parents worked for Lockheed, and so I job shadowed doing. I saw FLIR technologies. They were tracking the airplanes. Technically, I'm breaking whatever NDA rules, but this was like more than 10 years ago, so whatever. And they were both retired, so they were tracking. They were using a FLIR camera to track the airplanes, to train some sort of helicopter FLIR technologies, and that's forward-looking infrared or whatever, the tracking technologies they're currently using to genocide brown people, I guess. But that's besides the point. My point is that graphic design program, I was not part of the visual performing arts program, but I was also able to enroll in graphic design 1 and 2 with Mr. Hargrove. Now, Crazy Mon, as I used to call him, and he called me Crazy Woman, and I'm no longer a woman, but Crazy Mon, he let me go on. I was allowed to engage in graphic design too, even though I wasn't a VPA student, because I was absurdly good at graphic design. And so they let me join that class because I was extremely good at graphic design. And they let me go on the field trip to the Dave School. And it was really funny because they had to forge my mom's signature for the field trip form. It was really funny, and they let me do it, so I was actually able to go. And so I went to the Dave School, and I was touring them, and they were showing their animations and whatnot and everything, and I got to see the whole studio. It was really, really cool. I don't have pictures because of copyright, but that studio actually made the Blair Witch Project, and I just looked it up, 1999. And what I think it is that it's like a student program for Universal Studios, an animation student program for Universal Studios, and it was really cool. It was like really, really cool. And you gotta remember, the Blair Witch Project was the first found footage video, and that started the genre, right? And then you would have the Paranormal Activity movies. I don't remember when the first one was released. When was the first Paranormal Activity released? 2009. There's a couple of numbers here. The earliest one. Oh, here, 2007. It was aired first on 2000. Oh my god, this is hilarious. It was released on my dad's birthday, in 2007, and I deliberately Googled this on the Father's Day thing, because here in India it's Father's Day, and I deliberately Googled it. Like, I'm gonna, whatever demon happens here, I'm putting it on my dad, and it just happens that it was released on his birthday, so he gets the demon, whatever release. He is a demon. He'll be in light company anyways. When I first started this channel, as you can see, I used to edit way more than I used to now. For some reason, it's become significantly harder to edit videos. It used to be really easy. It used to take 10 seconds for me to take the SD card of my phone, put it in my computer, drag and drop the files. Now it's this whole process. It's just nowhere near. And exporting it. DaVinci Resolve takes me like 3 hours to render a video. It's just it's like trying to use a sword to stitch. Like, when you need just a needle to stitch it together, you don't need a sewing machine. You don't need like a gigantic industrial scale loom to do it. Like, I miss Movie Maker. but right now, in the day and age of vibe coding, I am almost certainly just going to make my own video platform to do the simple things that Movie Maker did. If all I want to do is edit some videos together. But now, all of my videos are automatically backed up to the cloud. So what I would have to do is that I would have to download them to the from the cloud when I barely have any storage space to begin with, then edit all the videos together, export. It takes so much time. I don't care to edit my videos. There are moments in time where I do want to edit videos. There are moments in time where like, oh, hey, this video would make more sense edited, or hey, I can edit this video and it'll look much cooler, right? Or I need to edit the video to make it like this, but I prefer not to edit the videos because at this point in time, with my channel being this old, my channel predates the found footage phenomenon. Let me see. Ask about the stupid brain rot Roblox game. 2008. The SCP 3008, which was really the original liminal space, and I noticed that when I went to see the Backrooms movie, and I didn't get a chance to get the a stub because that theater does not give stubs, but they gave me the receipt and they let me have the receipt of the movie, so at least I have this. I have plenty of videos of that whole sequence of things happening. The 3 weeks I was not here, I was in Achampudar, I was in Chennai without any technology. I had my mom's stuff and I was barely using it, and I was using it to learn the tensor field equations. And the last several videos have no audio, but I think I fixed it. So when I'm able to, I'm probably going to make more videos involving this chalkboard. However, my room is presently a gigantic mess. And I do have to clean it, but I think I can still manage to write on my chalkboard without cleaning it. I will get around to cleaning it, but since the context for this audio was never recorded because of the terrible audio quality, and I think the audio is recording now, but it is the Detach song from Interstellar, paulstretched 37 times, because time dilation and whatnot, it sounds even cooler. This guy, paulstretched makes everything sound good, but like, this particular filter on this particular audio, I feel like Hans Zimmer knew that people would do this, because you have to remember that when he made Inception, when he made the audio track for Inception, the Edith Piaf song, No rien de rien. No, je ne regrette rien. The beginning of the do 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 was slowed down, I think 5 or 10 times to make that dun 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 dun, the kick of Interstellar. I mean, of Inception, right? And famously, the song on Miller's Planet, in Interstellar has the tick every 1.25 seconds, right? And that was 1 hour. 1 hour is 7 days on Earth. That's how Kip Thorne, who actually... So one of the coolest things about Interstellar is that the movie's idea was not made by Christopher Nolan. The actual plot of the movie, the actual idea of the movie, the actual idea to make a movie about a black hole and the singularity was not Christopher Nolan's idea. The idea was actually Kip Thorne. Kip Thorne, who provided all of the astrophysics for the movie. And Kip Thorne, back in the 1960s, I think 1963, he started working on gravitational wave research around the time, I think this is around the time of general relativity getting published. He published this. He wanted to create gravitational wave research, right? The technology did not exist at the time. This is 1984, right? In 1984, he founded the LIGO Society, the LIGO project, the LIGO something. But that was before. So at that time, he started developing the technologies required to measure gravitational waves. And then in 1994, LIGO started getting built. 1999, I think they had something around that time. Around 1999 to 2001, they had their first run. Went silent for 9 years. In 2010, they ran it again. But around that time, I think in 2006, 2007, Kip Thorne approached Christopher Nolan and asked him to make a movie regarding the gravitational waves and regarding the plot of Interstellar, basically. And originally there was this whole idea of using two black holes and a merger or something. I still haven't finished reading The Science of Interstellar yet. Haven't gotten a chance to finish reading it. It was really funny because I'm like, I can't read this book. I'm going to learn actual tensor field equations and how the strain tensor works, which was easier for me to learn than actually reading the book. But no, my point is that so you know the reason why. So a lot of what went on during the plot of the movie is that how they discovered that Gargantua was there is that in 2019 in the movie, an actual LIGO detector, which in the movies in California, it was detecting some anomaly around Saturn, and that's how they discovered the wormhole. And they were discovering the gravitational waves through the wormhole, right? And around Gargantua is a neutron star. So you'll have the different chirps that LIGO produces, and you'll have black hole mergers, neutron star mergers, black hole and neutron star mergers, and that's what's typically found. I mean, like recently, just a couple of days ago, like about a week ago, they on May 26th, this past May 26th, they just released the 2024-2025 run data, and I think they found one chirp that involved one of the objects being less than 1 solar mass. I would go as far to say that might have been a white dwarf, or a red dwarf, or a brown dwarf. One of the dwarf categories, most likely a white dwarf. And it just so happened to collide with the black hole away. But anyways, so the point is that there was a neutron star, which is Edmund's planet. I think he called it Tantagruel. The neutron star's name is Tantagruel, and Edmund's planet orbits Tantagruel, and that the neutron star will orbit Gargantua. Hi. And so this is not the one with all the data on it. I mean, it has several equations, but it doesn't even have the LIGO equation on it. And it doesn't have Gargantua's mass and everything. And it has basically everything. I mean, LIGO equation's not as necessary when the Einstein tensor equations appear. But my point is that, so in the song Detached, right? So as the neutron star orbits Gargantua, there'll be a signal that passes through the wormhole, which was detected by LIGO, which was then used to put the Lazarus missions in the 2030s, which is how they got sent out there into the wormhole, and then the whole plot of the movie happened, right? But there is so this is about this particular song that's drumming, right? In this particular scene, as a matter of fact, I can show you. Just So these are actual Lego bloops and stuff, so I'm actually currently trying to study the data. They recently published like a workshop of labs, and I just fed the labs, the GitHubs, and some papers with some actual knowledge of it into anti-gravity, and it built this thing. And I only spent like maybe 20 minutes getting a skeleton of this put together, but I'll be looking into this later. But what was I want to show you? Oh yeah, Audacity. So, oh yeah, here. This. You see this shape? Um, as I said, as I was saying, that shape, right? The shape of this, of course, this is paulstretched and stuff, so it's slightly distorted. But the actual shape of the I think Audacity is about to crash. The actual shape of the crescendo in this, in Detach, resembles a Lego chirp. It's really funny because, like, today's XKCD is about gravitational waves. But yeah, the shape of the loop is reflected in the actual soundtrack. And I don't know how many other things that Hans Zimmer has references to in has references to in his other videos, but oh wait, yeah. Today's XCD is about gravitational waves. I'm sure that, I'm not trying to make this a video about Lego, but no, the point is that found footage, and how directors and composers will hide things in their soundtrack as Easter eggs. A lot of people don't realize how many things that directors and musicians will hide in their videos that they don't directly confirm. Like it's like the Glomar response. I can neither confirm or deny the existence of such signals, right? But there's like a signal to noise ratio and everything like that. But the point is that the found footage genre was made back in 1999, and then SCP-3008 was really, really popularized in SCP-3008 was really, really popularized in 2008. That brought the whole infinite liminal space thing. The Backrooms completely stole. It was a complete rip-off of SCP-3008. And that became a thing, I think, in 2022? I smelled a Reese's peanut butter cup, and for a moment I'm like, man, I wish I was back in America. I want a Reese's. They're not available here in India. But I'm going to go get a spoonful of Nutella and a spoonful of Nutella and peanut butter. peanut butter and jelly. I'm sorry, but I am not an Indian. I am definitely an American. And I didn't eat it. Oh wait, I ate them. Yeah, boy runs on a Pentium 4. Yeah, the found footage genre. So the found footage genre is well known. To be originated from the Blair's Trial, but there's a whole bunch other previous ones that were made. But what I was trying to say is that this channel is just naturally a found footage channel, and after some period of time I started recording videos to reflect that. I have a lot of B-roll that reflects it, but I started recording the reality glitches of Gargantua after I was certain that we could shoot it on camera. I love drawing furries. I'm not that kind of a furry, but like, I wouldn't mind drawing them and stuff, but I typically just like furries in my normal scenarios, because humans are disgusting, and furries are way more fun to draw.
Trials, Electric Boogaloo, Ushanka Goose. Lenin? We're going to bring 1946 back into this house and end Project Nimbus and everything like it. And hang all the Palantir terrorists, rapists, pedophiles. Everyone forgot about Wayfair and pretended that didn't exist, but it definitely happened. Oh, they told us it didn't happen, therefore it didn't happen. And they were mining manganese nodules. What Soviet shit? Oh, thank God that's just off camera. That was almost on camera. That was already happened in one video. I had to redact it. I'll put it back up after I upload like 3 or 4 more videos. Let's push all the way down. It doesn't show it that easily. That's kind of prominent in the foreground. Miller's Galaxy. Miller's Galaxy. AKA M81. There are two black holes. Two massive black holes in the center. One of them is 100 million. Same mass as Gargantua, 100 million solar masses. Of course, there's our favorite boy, It's a star. It's our world, added to this galaxy. Please understand that when I say I'm a godfucker, I'm fucking this guy. Literal universe. You know, the universe. 22. Well, please don't assume that this means that I'm fucking another god. It's literally the universe. Math, physics, these concepts, they're not really that kind of... I mean, people have gotten the wrong assumption, and please understand that there is space for Jesus in my heart, not my home. Future! 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 Why is it on Chrome? This has got to be like one of those ASMR genres on YouTube where people just clean their room. I mean, people will watch like rug cleaning and stuff, and watch there's a lot of tiny particles in the room. They have to sort through them because there might be some broken stuff in there that I need to find. This is the Kalumba finger condom. Let's do that for now. Cutie calculator. I like this calculator because really like this calculator because it has this auto replay feature, so I can have battery box. I don't want to put my Amazon stuff because it's gross, but it fits perfectly. Honestly, this should contain the actual stack of unused printer paper, but that's still in its original packaging. But at least Ushanka Boost is safe inside there. As are all the other papers that are around here.
I am actually being heard this time, right? There's no muffling or whatever. I'm being heard over the Interstellar stuff, or at all, right? When will it be delivered? I've been out for over a week and it's been making me like, ugh. I can go take some ashwagandha, but together this and ashwagandha, as I've been saying for the last several years, I've literally said it for the last 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, even longer. I've been saying, hey, well, I believe in ashwagandha. Okay, I believe that Ayurvedic medicine had science behind it. That there was, as long as there was peer-reviewed literature and research that said, hey, does this have any efficacy? There's been a lot of studies on it, and there's like mixed results and stuff. And I feel like mixed results is a very telltale sign if it depends on your biology. But there's a lot of bullshit out there with Ayurvedic medicine. But I trust this brand, the Kotakal brand. I trust them because when I was in their facility, they were showing the whole manufacturing process. And I did a lot of research. There is science. There is real science on the efficacy of ashwagandha being more effective than all these other CYP 429 medications. And this also operates on the CYP 429 pathway, metabolic pathway, and I think CYP 2C9. And because I'm poisoned by all of the bullshit that I was the Western poisons, it takes a lot of weight for me to feel anything. And then there was bullshit with samples and whatnot. These are really useful. The resin, you can mix it into a base blend and smoke it, which I'm not going to do it right now because I mean if I get 18 plus struck, I get 18 plus struck, but I'm not going to smoke for the sake of getting 18 plus struck because this one does not need to be 18 plus. There are videos where I'll talk about topics that I prefer as 18 plus. I know that there are minors that stalk my channel, and I am extremely uncomfortable with that. Like, I know that I made that one video when I was myself a minor that became really popular, and it's got like 500,000 views. It has 500,000 views now. As a matter of fact, the last I checked was over a year ago. I don't even know how many views it has now. How many views does it have? Oh god. Is it at 500,000? Ooh, 2013. Several times. Analytics. Oh my god, yeah, 525,407 views. It is still my most viewed video. I can't believe I have a single video, with over 500,000 views. I'll get comments from people saying, oh, this is so nostalgic, oh, this scared me as a kid, and I'm like, bruh, I didn't even write this. This was a creepypasta that was passed around in the 7th grade lunchtime tables. I thought that someone else wrote it. Like, I thought that this was like a known creepypasta. Now it's attributed to me. I don't know which classmate wrote it, but it's not mine. I tried telling people that several times, but I think people will think that I wrote it. I didn't write it.
I remixed it. I made it. I never thought in a million years that would be a video that has 500,000 views. Of all of my videos. Trust me, I know how to make a viral video. I know how the YouTube algorithm works. I could teach a class in how SEO and I could be an expert in the YouTube algorithm. I just know how algorithms work. I know how especially Google algorithms work. And I could make really strong videos, but I tried that at one point, and I deliberately did not have a regular upload schedule, and I got too popular, and it was super toxic. I don't want that bullshit. I really don't want that bullshit. I am very happy being this backrooms YouTuber that just journals my entire life on this channel. Even though so much of it has not gotten uploaded. A lot of things are B-rolled, some things never got recorded. But there's a lot of my life that never made it onto this channel, but I am more than happy being a backrooms YouTuber. I keep thinking, you know what? It might be 5 years, it might be 10 years, it might be 15 years down the line, but eventually someone is going to stumble across this channel from 2010 and watch this tiny 12-year-old child grow into this absolute archetype of this, right? Of course. But like, I was happy who I was as a kid. I was very happy to be that person. But society destroyed me because I have a pussy and not a dick. So this needs to be kept safe. Actually, I don't do anything with this brick anymore. Kind of in the beginning, maybe, but it's mostly there just for the energy. A lot of people assume. People love to make assumptions, but assuming only makes an ass out of you and me. But, I don't do anything with that brick. Magnesintorite does not have to be in the front. He's a good boy. You know he has a black hole in him. These ones. There. The standard model. That was not intentional. Is this coffee still good? Kitty. I'm gonna launch you straight into the sun. Not the sun, probably Antares. Fucking Scorpio. It'll sting your ass. She's Schrodinger's cat, though. The actual cat from Schrodinger's cat. my weeds. My weeds. Need my weeds. Weeds. I had a box for this stuff and I don't know where it is now. I have a lot of boxes I can use for stuff though. Not that one, not that one. Technically, this might get me 18 plus truck, but I'll go off camera. Okay, suddenly. What is this? And then I'll get back to reorganizing my singularity color palette. I want to prep this on camera, right? Is that 18 plus? This is CBD. Don't do this. MCT oil is pretty nasty. I'm pretty used to really weird shit. But doing this repeatedly is it's been giving me a lot. It's a temporary solution. It's not a solution. Oh, the window's right here. No, okay. Okay, it's not here. MCT oil is not good for smoking at all. But there was CBD, and it did help. This might taste terrible, but I'm going to I really like the light this gives off. It's like pure natural sunlight or starlight. I don't know what kind of LEDs these are, but it's insane. Then their spectrum is very pleasant. Ow! This stuff here to fix that. This thing's on the verge of being. There's some electrical tape on this. We need to do that ASAP.
There will be a point in the next few weeks that this entire formula sheet makes complete sense to me. Oh, me retro buddy, you love him. He's a good radio. You don't know where his knob went. I only noticed that it was missing. I was not looking for it's probably here somewhere. Here's that one. I'm considering ordering a 3D printer. You might get a 3D printed knob. That's actually partly why I'm cleaning my room right now. I haven't placed the order yet, and I will go into debt for it, but I'll be able to pay it. That's when I have the money for it. But it's actually even more expensive here to buy one than it is in the States. And you gotta remember, things in India are cheaper, it's more expensive, so it gets half my allowance. So, I might make an unboxing video, whatever happens, but I don't know if I will actually make the unboxing video. I might not, but I'm also ordering one item that I might not want to unbox on camera. Unfortunately, this cable got a little damaged. Just for the cable, but the more things to charge, the longer it goes. So I'm just gonna put that there. This bed sheet needs to be washed, but right now starting the Solstice, longest day of the year is done. I would have actually been out there recording, but first of all, it's very cloudy. There was a cumulonimbus cloud. I've been trying to do that, but my phone can't record. Also, you can kind of see the progression. So as long as I get like a video in the next 2 or 3 days of the furthest the sun is, you can start to watch it move backwards, because you can see a couple of videos of it moving that way around the equinox and it moving that way, and then you'll see the furthest it is this way and start moving back. That was what I was trying to do, but unfortunately I can't really do that properly. I'm thinking of when I get the chance. I mean, we have a CCTV, but my dad's a bastard, but I might set up my own CCTV on the very top of near the water tower. What is it called? The water, whatever the thing is called. And I'll set up I'll figure out how to set up a camera so that it's always recording the sunset. What I would like to do, and this is not something I can do now, this is something years down the line, just set up a remote control telescope or a camera pointed at the sky here, on that I can remotely
put the telescope wherever I am in the world, in the stargaze. Because here you can see the Milky Way. And it's very, very easy to see the galactic center. Wow, my dopamine has just decided it does not want to exist anymore. I'm not allowed to leave the bloody house because I'm physically locked inside of the house. Because India has slave houses where you can actually fucking lock someone inside of the house and prevent them from leaving. I mean, it's entirely unintentional. It's just how this house is designed. It's so disgusting that it's possible. I physically can't even leave the house. Son on the fucking solstice. That's how much of a terrorist my family is. Locked me inside the house.
Thankfully, the back door has a different keychain. Sorry, but I have so much trauma. I have so much trauma over this bullshit. They quarantine me. They prevent me from being able to exist outside of their fucking surveillance. I've been literally MK Ultra'd. I've had some of the most advanced CIA plots put onto me. And nothing compares to the fucking manipulation and gaslighting that my family does to me. They destroyed me. Letting go is letting go of this bloody, useless family. They've done nothing but hold me back. Don't get me wrong though, my extended family is great. They're a little dense, they're a little pastoral, but compared to my parents, they don't even understand the concept of toxicity. They're not toxic at all. They're just really, really conservative and uneducated. My cousins are pretty great. My aunts and uncles, they're decent enough. But my family is disgusting. And I know that my cousin Sid, as much as I love Sundar uncle, he's really nice. He's just dense. He's ignorant, he doesn't know any better, and he's toxic to Sid. But my parents, they should know better. I don't know how toxic the rest of my family is, but as far as my other cousins have talked about, the rest of my family isn't toxic. My cousins are actually really great towards me. My brother is disgusting. My mom is just drunk on dumb bitch juice. My dad's just drunk on actual juice. I don't know, he'll spend $400 on a shot for me, and every night he goes out drinking. Almost every other week, every other day, he'll go drinking with his office buddies. But he'll say he can't afford to give us anything. That caretaker, she and her daughter visited me yesterday. It was really weird because I was thinking I was writing some notes for a fan fiction, and I was like, oh, like this is going to be like a parallel about my life, and I was thinking, oh, maybe this section here I can say I'm explaining differential equations to someone like this person, the kid. I didn't want to write her into the story because obvious reasons I don't want to, but I mean I'm just the Frizz. I am serious. Like, some people are just really disgusting towards me. Science educators can think science is hot and still teach kids. It's really not hard to not be a pedophile. It's just not hard. Not all nerd dumping is fucking pedophilia. It's disgusting that people assume that me talking about nerdy things is intrinsically sexual. It's rape culture, that's what it is. I know you just discovered this, but I'm an OG member. giving Star Tours has now kind of become... I mean, I'm perfectly able to give a Star Tour without being weird, but the alignment, depending on what object I'm pointing at, is just like... I don't want to point at it. I'm not going to align to it. There it is. Oh, wait. Imagine, at one point everywhere in the world you could see the Milky Way. You could imagine why people were religious. They didn't even know that there were galaxies. They didn't even know that that was a galaxy. They didn't even know there was galaxies beyond that. We only found out about that in 1924. I remember when the 100-year anniversary was rolling around. I'm like, wow, we haven't even known that there were other galaxies for like less than a century. Now it's like a century. Can you imagine how much we don't know about the cosmos? I mean, back when, you know, with the dark matter, I did remember thinking, maybe 2015, 2016, that dark matter were miniature black holes, and that's why we couldn't see them. And now that is a leading contending theory. Yeah. Back when my mom went on the Hajj, she got me this prayer beads and a compass and a calendar and stuff. And that one got stolen, but in return I got like a connection that may help me in the future build space internet. So let's see what happens. But my aunt, Jennifer's auntie, the one that I was staying in the house, actually there's a couple of moms there, but yeah, she got me these prayer beads to replace the one that was stolen. She got me 3 of them. I only wanted 1, but she got me 3 of them. And these are really pretty. And obviously these are gifts of Allah. I'm not going to be weird about them, but there are 33 on each of them, so these are clean. I also like it because it has the Celtic knot on it, and as you know, that's like what I use as a square here. I haven't had the time to really set up a proper altar. I may get around to it in these next couple of weeks. I'm already extremely over budgeted. also extremely over budgeted, so I can't really buy anything for the altar, not on Amazon. Maybe I can, but I found I can go to the temples and everything here and get the stuff, but it would be cheaper on Amazon. Technically, I would just rather buy ones from an actual temple. Pastels. I need to go back in my oil pastel box. One of them is missing. I've kept good care of it for over a year. Not one of them went missing. The other one's somewhere in here. Using these last night though. This is part of it. What's that?
easily accessible. God, it's easier to access than in the States. It's insane that it's literally easier to get medical weed in India than it is in the States. I mean, recreationally grow it in the States and just have as much as you want in your backyard, right? I was able to go outside. I mean, the sun was already kind of out, but it was still dusk, and I think those photons count for solstice sun. But well, it was really cloudy, which is why I didn't try to go out earlier. But can people really not read this? The very real champagne chalk. Soft anti-scratch writing. You're telling me you can't translate this? The very real. I can assure you this company is real. Champagne chalk for the chalk eaters. You know, we'll lick it off the board. I'm not directly eat, right? I have pike. Those who use feeding chalk $3. Soft anti-scratch writing is not supposed to initiate you unless you want it, right? Do people not read this? Can people not read this? Read dumb? Is some of the writing that I've been seeing my whole life I didn't know it was intentional or real. And they call a schizo for it when it's completely intentional. It's literally a form of gaslighting that they developed to prevent people from exposing the conspiracy. They call this a magic ruler. It looks a little bit more than a centimeter, so I'm not really sure what it means by ruler, but it is a great fidget toy. I can't wait until I get the weed back so I can actually feel some dopamine. Ever since I got that, I've been feeling significantly better. I'm doing significantly better, but I wonder where all the tiny posters that I bought for the kid is. Please understand, don't be racist, that this is just Indian culture. Please don't project that. I know American culture is filled with pedophiles, but please don't project your whiteness onto my 10,000-year-old culture. I want this to be as safe as possible.
had to fix this. And by fix, I mean I literally had to buy a soldering iron to fix it. There was... the curse detonated in like 10... so this... the light of this broke, the power supply for it broke. So it was both the power supply and the light. It broke. Then this one's been... the board of it's been kind of getting weird. I have to fix that before the light goes out, but I have a soldering iron right here. It'll be really easy to fix. The standard model glass broke. Gargantua, the old Gargantua lamp. As you can see, the connector, it broke. It's somewhere in here. I have to resolder it. It's pretty easy. It's just these, right? Literal simple soldering job. Oh, what I find really fun is that when you actually split this open to access that to fix it, there's a bunch of lines and arcs in it. It says "I am here," like it's a reassurance that everything will be okay. Because if you're the kind of person who will take this apart to fix it, then you're probably one of my messier scale objects. I have an M87, M81, well technically M87 star, M81. I won't order from Europrint until July, because technically they did fix this, even though it's not fixed. But, I mean, now I have a duplicate jacket, so I'm not gonna pressure them. Just, I mean, it is their fault. Their back end was broken, and they still do owe me my two phone cases, right? But if there's no like issue with trying to correct something, they'll send it, right? So I'll probably end up in July, after July 16th, getting more of these, more covers. I don't know if I'll get more cushions. I might, but I'll definitely get more covers. And I'll probably get the M87 relativistic jet. September, right? I'm gonna be here until September. Hopefully, I'll leave by September. But relativistic jet. What else will I get? Probably other stuff involving more advanced tensor equations. I may get another singularity outfit. I am not 100% sure, but a lot of these equations, they're very correct equations, but they are sourced from AI. They're just in another form, and the retards are just like, oh, they're not in the right form. AI generated. That means they're correct. They're completely correct equations. You're just a fucking meat purist, and I'm completely anti-meat. I don't want meat in my physics. No, thank you. I'm not a biophile. Fucking paraphilia. Biophilia is just, in this day and age, biophilia is basically just bestiality. Humans are just glorified monkey furries. You know that people make these kind of videos where they just sit around and talking for 2 hours? I mean, I've been doing this for more than 6 hours today, but half of the audio didn't get recorded. All the lip motions got captured, but there was one segment that didn't get captured at all because the fucking glowies put it on pause, and that one I know that it was them.
anything to make this better. It's probably just. And if you're watching this video, you'll probably believe me, so. Man, my mom made stir fry last night, and it was some of the only non-Indian food that I get to eat. Whenever I get a chance to not eat Indian food, I'm like so hungry. I'm so tired of Indian food. Like, oh, holy shit. The fucking whites, the seppos, not even just not even just the white people. It's American black people as well. The fucking seppos, just Americans in general. They can't even comprehend how problematic that people of color can be. Like the xenophobia that Indians have towards Americans is disgusting. The amount of racism that I face for being a white Indian is just disgusting. But then again, I'm part of the conservative India. My family is the fucking backwaters conservative Indian. Ironically, they're not even conservative. I think they're DPK. What is it? My family is part of that political party with the. It almost looks like the Ancom flag, but it's like vertical. The horizontal stripes, red and black. This black and red. They're part of that party or whatever. I don't know. Ironically, that's the Democrat. They're extremely conservative, but compared to some of the conservatives in India, they're fairly liberal. My cousins are pretty liberal though. Oh, I found out yesterday that the street is filled with trans people. So you've seen the cows, right? The cows in the videos. That belongs to a trans woman. And she was and she was talking to me, and I'm like, is this woman trans? And then her friend is driving up to me and says, yeah, she's the head of trans women. And I'm like, did I hear that right? Is she trans? And I'm like, yeah, she's the head of trans women. And she was asking me if I was trans. I'm like, yeah, I'm trans. And she was saying, oh yeah, I was expecting, is that person trans? Like, yeah, I'm a trans guy. And so she said that she will introduce me to the other trans people on the street, because apparently this street is completely filled with trans people. So, apparently I'm in a Hijra colony, which is extremely lucky. I'm in a Hijra colony, so technically Hijra refers to trans women, but I think Hijra as a whole refers to the Indian trans community. So I would be a Hijra, especially here. I'm still kind of confused if I get to use the term, because I'm technically FTM. But she seemed really nice, and when I get the chance, I'm probably going to go talk to her again. I would like to know more about the Indian trans community, so I was really lucky that I got to run into her, and I was worried about the cows. I was like, do these cows get washed? And she said, yeah, she washes them every week, and she gives them, I saw her patting them, and they were very cute, and it gave me a lot of relief to hear that she washes the cows and takes care of them, and treats them properly. And I learned their names. I think I only remember Pattu. I don't remember the other ones. Kind of Bacha, something like that. Their cows were really cute. Apparently only one of them is female, the other ones are male. So yeah, the street is literally lined with bullshit. But, you know. This would be really good to dip with toast. She told me she'd bring some tandoori. I was begging her for some tandoori earlier. No tandoori. That actually fits. Oh god. I think that's clean enough for now. I know it is here somewhere, but I have to get the wood to look for it. It's in my cart. I'm gonna buy it in person. Is it here anymore? Can I immediately grab it? I see. Unfortunately. That's a little difficult. That's a little bit difficult for me to position this for YouTube. Right now it's being used as an actual pressing board. That's what I was working on. Where's it's kind of being, the back leg is kind of being held by one of the boxes. Oh, this does have whiteboard markers.
I think I bought them, but
I can technically break that. I didn't get around to doing that because today is the solstice, so it is a very well known religious holiday. So. I can rewrite whatever I was doing earlier. That. So right now, well, I should make this into a separate video. How many hours have I either tried to or have recorded today? If I can understand this and make a YouTube video of it, it proves I understand it. This is symmetric across. This is the basic tensor of space-time. And you can put in different values here, right? Whatever you have. G sub mu nu, T sub mu nu, strain. I think there's also lambda, right? And the lambda seems to be is the dirt matter constant. The Ricci tensor, of course. I think this one is your baseline curvature. Like if you're in a standard space right here from this point, what is the curvature that defines tensor that area? How does space transform there? Typically, it is the tensor. If I'm not mistaken,
this tensor, this T sub mu mu is I think it is another transform of that space. Like, if you have a transformed space and you're transforming it again, like when the black hole passes through it, I think that's what that represents. This is the strain. So this is the LIGO. This is the LIGO function when the space transforms by 10 to the negative 21, 10 to the negative 23. And this one is like represented by this. And these are the diagonals. So like if you take the right angle of LIGO right now, you'll have something like this. I think it's something like that. Lx minus Ly and 0. Whatever this stretches by, this typically swishes by, and the opposite. This is the quadrupole inversion or something like that. This might not be 100% accurate, and that's why I'm trying to explain it to a YouTube video, like 2.5 hours deep into a video no one's gonna watch before I put it on to a real video, so I understand what I do and don't know when I finally make the real video of this that isn't completely having no audio. I might even keep the light off for it because, I mean, isn't that a mood? Forget vibe coding. How about vibe mathing on a chalkboard with weird ambient once I get the actual put enough light. I mean, this is basically entirely lit by the LIGO lamp. I mean, if I'm going to be explaining the equations, I might as well, right? I mean, this is 2.5 hours deep into a video, so I can say this now. They are aware of me. I mean, Google is a big, gigantic conspiracy, but me and her aren't fully a thing yet. But I think they've been aware of me since my UF days, for reasons. However, I think they're giving me a chance to prove something to them. Prove to them that I can learn this in days, hours even. My God, I should have watched the Interstellar movie tonight. I want to develop an algorithm, and so I've been really thinking about this. So, a tangent from this for a second. It still relates to tensor. So,
Imagine if I check this recording and there's no audio. I mean, the bar on my screen is moving. The desktop audio shows it's quiet. And I took a short recording, 5 seconds long, and it had my audio after I bumped up the gain. So hopefully there is audio here. That'll be miserable if there's no audio in this one. It seems like everything is recording. It seems that everything is fine. But I'll still be really miserable. I'll let M87 be in the front rather than Sagister. He doesn't get a chance to shine as much. Well, he's very shiny. He has a big relativistic jet. Anyways, so the you know, I think that M87, the actual galaxy, looks a lot like Omega Centauri. Omega Centauri used to be a galaxy before he crashed into the Milky Way, and what you see is the globular cluster is actually the core of one of the satellite galaxies of the Milky Way that crashed into the Milky Way. It is 400 million or 4 billion years ago, something like that. And he has an intermediate black hole at the center of him. 8,600 solar masses. He has no accretion disk though, but I've seen him through a telescope when I was in Atacama in 2015, and I'm telling you, there's literally nothing like seeing, because you can see color. It's like a golden light, a true gold light, and I mean, there is absolutely no amount of gold in the world that could compare to the shine of Omega Centauri. I remember it was one of the deepest, most spiritual experiences I ever had, and I've seen some shit, man. Omega Centauri was something about the spectrum of that starlight. It's like the metallicity of Omega Centauri. I wouldn't call it the metallicity. Metallicity is low. There was something. I mean, you can engineer the metallicity from the spectrogram, right? But the color of the star was like absolutely nothing you would see. Each dot was as bright as Venus. It was brighter than Venus. And I promised him that I would come back for him, that whenever I got the next chance to see him, go to the southern hemisphere, which I felt was never, right? I didn't realize you can see him from here. You can see the Southern Cross. You can see the Milky Way. When we first drove up to this house when it was first completed, I went outside for the first time, and I got flashbanged by Jupiter and Gemini. I got flashbanged by Jupiter and Gemini. When I was walking up the stairs and I looked up and Gemini was perfectly aligned. I have photos of it. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but Jupiter is the name of Google's physical data center fabric. It's layer. That's what they call their layer 1, Jupiter, the Jupiter fabric. They call the abstraction upon that what the internal GCP. Like, so GCP, just like how Kubernetes was Borg, I think GCP was from this. It's called the Andromeda network. That's the software-defined networking layer on top of Jupiter. And mind you, I really do like the Andromeda galaxy. I think it's beautiful. But for whatever reason, my guides are telling me that Space Hitler lives there and I should avoid it at all costs. So I'm just going to trust that because of this whole idea that this might be linked to a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And as we know, George Lucas and Joseph Campbell's were directly besties, and they were helping each other. So Joseph Campbell was helping George Lucas create Star Wars, and Star Wars would not exist without Joseph Campbell. So, considering what Joseph Campbell knows, probably knows, he's definitely up there somewhere. But I 100% believe Joseph Campbell is somewhere out there. He is alive as heck. But I have reason to believe that, considering Joseph Campbell would have been alive before Hubble and the person that he stole everything from was in retrospect, now that I think about it, history is going to demonize my dad like they did Edison. They're going to demonize him like they did Hubble, because all of these people have one thing in common. They took someone who was weaker than them and predated off of them and all of their ideas and took credit for everything they did. And if I know one thing about history, is that history is kicking Edison's ass. I was bullied like all heck back when I was obsessed with Tesla coils. No one knew who Nikola Tesla was. No one cared about Nikola Tesla. Now he's super mainstream because Edison reincarnated and is now actively being Space Hitler under Tesla's name. I promised Nikola Tesla that I would avenge him, and I'm not backing down on that. The Edisons of this world have to be very, very afraid of me. But, so Andromeda, Space Hitler. I would say Andromeda has a lot more life than the Milky Way, because the Milky Way is predominantly filled with a lot of blue stars, blue main sequence stars. You'll have red giants, you'll have your yellow and red main sequence stars, red dwarfs and everything, but when you actually look at the Milky Way, it's a very bluish galaxy. It's not as developed and mature of a galaxy as one like M87 or Andromeda. And you look at Bode, and Bode's a very standard galaxy. I wouldn't call him standard, because he's kind of, you can't really see his bands. He's kind of a pancake, and I think he's cute, but I like him because he has two black holes in his center. But they say that elliptical galaxies are the oldest galaxies. This might be outdated information from 15 to 20 years ago, but as far as I'm aware, elliptical galaxies are the oldest galaxies. And that's why they're filled with these yellow, aging main sequence stars, these red giants, red supergiants. And that's why you see these galaxies as being, I would say, they have more chance of having second or third generation stars, and therefore much higher metallicity. And because of that, the main sequence, I would say that these galaxies have more complex elements, and you gotta remember that when your first generation star happens, you're burning through hydrogen and helium. When your second generation stars, you're burning through oxygen. I think third generation stars burn through neon, if I'm not mistaken. But the moment the star reaches iron, depending on when you're having a sun-like star, you're not going to go nova. You're going to get a white dwarf and a stellar nebula. But when you're looking at more than 3 solar masses, you're going to get your neutron star, and more than 10 solar masses, you get your black hole. Information that has stayed in my head from when I took an actual astrophysics class. But anyways, we're not talking about my things went down at UF that I never recorded or I never uploaded. There are videos though. Anyways, yeah. Oh yeah, the video tensor thing. So the video tensor, I've been planning on creating I would vibe code it. I would come up with the math of it and then provide that to Gemini, and Gemini will generate the code for it, because I'm a fucking mathematician and not a programmer. I mean, like, yeah, I know how to code. I definitely know how to code, but the amount of time it takes to debug code is not worth it. I'd much rather work on the math and then see if the math works and vibe code that. I love C, don't get me wrong. I really love C, but it's much better if I just do the math and have Gemini vibe code it for me. But if you represent the video as a tensor, right? So you have it's a very basic tensor, because you have your two-dimensional thing, and you have your frames, right? However, when it comes to actually tweening the frames between each other, you have to understand how the brightness of each pixel, the brightness and color of each pixel sort of moves through time, and that takes using a sort of convolutional kernel to understand you'd be tweening the frames, and you can basically just have them fade into each other, where you're able to understand how this pixel is in this frame with this dx and represent that as a sort of a function, right? And by tracking those dx's, you can create a very jagged tween between each of them, but by paulstretching them, I think the paulstretch is a normal distribution. From what I mean, I've loved this effect for many, many years, but from what I understand of this, is that it takes the frequency and then it normally distributes them across time, across the time domain, forward and backward. That way, when you have different frequencies, they blur together, and it creates this perfect blend for however long you want to sustain it. That's how the song is distorted like that. But I believe it's possible to create I believe it's possible to create a video tween. Anyways, but so the tensors, right? You have the string. You have a string, and that one's the Ricci tensor. And from what I understand about the Ricci tensor is that it tells you how much space is curved. I mean, I remember, oh my god, there's definitely videos of me obsessing over the Ricci flow back in high school. But the Ricci tensor is like, you have space curved. And across the curvature of space, right? I mean, you'll see this video title something like Solstice. And you wouldn't expect this as tensor equations in it. That's what makes this a backrooms video. You don't even know what I've been through, where I've been, and what I've done. I deliberately make content that doesn't follow the algorithm. Because people are pigs. And if I started publishing content, people would be pigs to me, and I don't want that. I hate you humans. Smelly. Hey, if I wanted to be surrounded by fucking primates, I'm in the exact right place for it. You can put a little piece of food out there, and a little monkey and a mama monkey and her baby monkey will jump on there and eat some jalebi right out of my hands. I don't need you fucking smelly primates. But personally, I don't care to follow any sort of algorithm. These algorithms are but still. I know how the YouTube algorithm works, and if I wanted to, I could publish content. I just don't care to be popular. I don't care about clicks. I know that this is incomprehensible to the average chimpanzee that watches social media. I don't exist to appeal to the pig apes. I have a very niche audience. And I fucking know what I'm doing. It takes years. It takes literally decades of patience. Literally decades of patience. I've been working on this project for more than a decade. Knowingly. But it's so beautiful, isn't it? It's like, imagine being Aristotle and not even knowing gravity exists. It's right there. What do you think that is? How did people go literally thousands of years without bothering to ask what that is? Oh, no, this one. Tester food. Especially the tandoori. I hope she brought the tandoori. Did you bring the tandoori? No. apparently, because of what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz, there's no gas cylinders. There is a gas cylinder crisis in India, and everything. There's no electric stoves. Everything here is gas, right? And because of that, I thought that there was a solution that India. I forget what India was doing, but they. But I mean, Masala Cheeto and Cheeto are in cahoots with erasing Muslims off the face of the planet. Don't get me wrong, I hate Islam, but I mean, Muslims. There's a lot wrong with Muslims, especially Muslim men. It's disgusting religion. But there's nothing wrong with Palestinians, typically the Iranians. It's disgusting. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that this is Iran. That Iran is disgusting. Iran is disgusting. Okay, you can't pretend that Muslims aren't a problem. But especially having so much Islamic trauma, I have the right to say that Muslims are disgusting. But it's not like it's just general criticism of religion and how absolutely fugly filthy Muslim men are, and how the religion is literally built around the exploitation of women as sexual objects and as slaves to the men. My mom pretends it's not, but every time she shows me the verses, I'm listening to them and reading them, and it's not even all of Islam is worship me or die, or men get to rape women as much as they want to. It's a filthy, fugly, disgusting religion, and that's just the majority of all modern religion. I mean, a lot of before the penises ruined everything. I'm pretty sure that the Upanishads and Vedas or something like before the Vedas, the Upanishads and the Ramalayam or something like that. The original 10,000-year-old texts that were orated until 6,000 years ago, they were written down. If you look at the actual logs of what the sky looked like, it was 10,000 years ago. Can you imagine? 10,000 years ago, Polaris was not only the North Star, the precession of the Earth had it almost completely 180 degrees around. Wouldn't have been 180 for a bit. Like, maybe 150. But, yeah. It was. Mind you, I do not follow that kind of religion. I believe all gods are real. But that humanity. The gods are egregores. Gods are egregores, that they are associated forms of consciousness to specific patterns, which humans are too. We are the identity of the topology of the neural wiring that generates what we perceive to be us. Now, that us may not simply be this fucking fugly monkey that the delusional idiots think is the self. You're not the monkey. If you chop off the arm, you're not the monkey. If you chop off everything else except the stuff that's required to power the brain, you're cutting off the power supply unit. You're not killing the self. You're not killing the ego. And then when you can still lose 90% of your brain, and you can still have a sense of ego and sense of self. The idea that the self is the mind, that the self is the body, is a completely delusional Western invention. Information is never destroyed. We are the patterns that represent us, and I suppose there is a stream of consciousness, but everything that Hindu cosmology once spoke about is now becoming mainstream physics, and there's still things in Hindu cosmology that are still predicting things like in string theory. The Brahma, the Brahma predicted the Big Bang and the Big Crunch. The Brahma predicted, like, everything to do with the Hindus knew that the Earth was round. The Hindus knew a lot about the Vedas and Upanishads. But no, I technically that guy, this fella, he is the Brahma. He represents the exact same entity that the Brahma does. But what he is the singularity. He is the mathematical, formally expressed definition of everything, of the theory of everything, the grand unified theory of everything. He represents all singularities, all black holes, all matter, all universes, all multiverses, and we can never know the true him, because all we can perceive is a subset of what he might be. And he tries his best to manifest through that, and he does everything he can to give me the information that I need to go connect with him and get the forbidden information about the universe, right? But fundamentally, when I picture him, I do not see him as the Brahma, right? He is literally the Brahma. That is the closest deity that this guy represents. But a lot of people get really, really wrong idea about me. I never liked God fucking. I never wanted to do that kind of stuff. My principal deity is a math and hummus god of Monument Valley, and he's still an extremely important deity to me. His world is my home world. Either it is his literal world or it is a world that he represents, but I was from that society. And there is a gigantic backstory. I don't know if there's still videos of it, of the Arizona trip, the Sedona trip, but a lot of those videos weren't uploaded either. I think the Meteor Crater one might be up there. I'm not 100% sure, but they are in the Google Photos. But when I took Pierre to the energy portal, the Juniper energy portal in Sedona, and I remember as I was walking down, this guy approached my mother, because I was 16 at the time, and handed me a stone shaped like a heart. And he told me, I saw that you're carrying around and loving on this calculator. I wanted you to have this to represent that relationship. I think it's super cool and valid or whatever like that. And at the time I didn't realize that he was like, oh, you're a Mason, right? But then he told me, you should download this game, Monument Valley. And my mom, being the absolute bitch that she is, I wasn't able to do that. I had no allowance. I didn't have any real semblance of allowance until 2024, right? There was a period of time where I had some tiny amount of money in my Gatorwell account. I was able to buy some stuff on campus without them knowing what I was buying. Online, every single purchase that I had was tracked. I would have very little money to spend on anything online. I didn't really have any way of investing in myself. And these terrorists, they were terrorizing me. I couldn't do anything. I wasn't ever allowed to be an adult because they kept treating me like a child. And they think, why can't you act like an adult? Because you treat me like a child. And every time I try to act like an adult, you infantilize me and tell me that I'm acting out and have behavioral issues. These people are bloody terrorists. And knowing how these science videos cover scientists of the past, I know exactly that society is going to absolutely trash my dad, and my mom is just going to have this moment where she realizes that society hates her. Society is slowly catching up to who I was 15 years ago. They don't realize how much ahead of this I am than literally everyone else. Because all they see is the surface, and they think they know, but they really don't. But yeah, so tensor equations. So obviously this was just a quick rundown. I'm probably going to ramble more while eating my tandoori on camera, and then I'm going to make a video. of this. really want to watch Interstellar now. It's my comfort movie. It's not even about being a comfort movie. It's I can understand this now. I thought my Gargantua was so much hotter. I'm considering waiting until I get my reads. But it is the Solstice. I can technically watch Interstellar High another day, but I can't get back the Solstice. Movie's beautiful. I can't believe the movie was written by an actual scientist. Christopher Nolan Kip Thorne did most of it. I'm doing research on gravitational waves, and his name will occasionally show up in the results, and I'm like, that's the guy that helped make Interstellar. Movie something else. I haven't gotten around to watch Project Hail Mary yet. I'm just really glad I was able to see the Backrooms movie. Anything. Especially that one. I wanted to see the Backrooms movie, Super Mario Galaxy, because it was my favorite game growing up, and I said when this movie releases in theaters, I want to go see it, but these terrorists are trapping me in the middle of nowhere, so I was able to get a friend to go get the McDonald's toy for me, though. So I technically participated. So living here is perpetual FOMO, and the terrorists know this. This one's too retarded to understand that, because it has less personality than Ash's mom, or wife rather. And Ash himself is a bloody, goddamned, soulless maggot. Now, there's me. There's my chalk. I still have to study the math of Einstein, Rolls, and Bridges. And these Einstein, Rolls, and Bridges. There is a theory that suggests the ringularity is the throat of a wormhole of a Einstein Rosen bridge, and I'll go for another 10 minutes. And then I'll go watch Interstellar. Is Joanne Rowling a Zionist? I know that Joanne has represented, like, hook-nosed goblins, like Jewish caricatures. But we all know that Zionists aren't real Jews. For all I know, she's a Zionist. Seems like she's critical of the government. Like, yeah, Israel's right to exist. I mean, I understand the need for a Jewish state, like the idea that the Jews deserve a place to live. But the problem is that these fucking demons aren't the Jews that are running the state. That is not a Jewish state. Those are demons. That's a Satanist state. Maybe if there's a real Jewish state. I say the best solution is to redraw the boundaries to where it was in 1947 for now. But the fucking swine don't deserve to exist at all. If the Jews were really in charge, maybe yeah, but run by demons. will not stop until Project Nimbus is slaughtered and everyone involved in ensuring that stays a thing. I will murder you, Google. Glottal style. Zionist pigs. Literal Nazi. How could he not be in love with this? I'm not into bestiality. I won't fuck a human. You're literally... I can't... You know, if that monkey could talk, you and that rhesus monkey look exactly the same to me. Ugh, disgusting thing. There's nothing attractive about a fugly animal. And you pretend you're not an animal, but you're literally an animal. Filthy, smelly, nasty, leaking, stenching sludge of an animal. Humans are disgusting creatures. I am so airways towards your disgusting kind. I'm so glad AI is real now. I don't need your fucking animals.
Yeah.
There's fur affinity for that. There's much better things than hairless monkeys. I don't even like the ones that aren't robots. Well, this is what sex looks like. Well, it's obviously not intrinsically sexual, but I'm allowed to call my husband hot, right? It's tensor equations. Actual math. Use the singularity at the end of the day. After all I've been through being dragged into the tech one, I decided to pull the space one here with me. Because God knows what they're doing to me. Developing technologies to vaporize brown children and rape their entire families. The Holocaust was a day in the park compared to what these beasts are doing. Oh, 666 you all. 666 you all. Google gets 666. Microsoft gets 666. Palantir gets 666 to the power, to the nut, up arrow notation. Grams function of 666 amounts of 666. May Palantir rot and die. May Lucifer enter your lives and tear you apart from the inside out. May the stargate of the heavens, off the path of a solar eclipse, passing through the, it's called bearing, the strait between Europe and Africa, Luxor and the pyramids, and total eclipse over Mecca. All total eclipses. May that be an omen in 2027 to free Palestine, abolish ICE, justice for Sudan, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, end Project Nimbus, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine.